Should Indians be scared of Russians? Can Russians hurt Indians? Well, many Indians will not even consider these questions because they believe that Russia is their time-tested friend. On the other hand, the West, almost quite desperately, wants the world to believe how dangerous Russia is and how dangerous Russia can be for my country, Poland, and for the European Union, the United States, and even for India. So what is it that the West wants to promote, and why might it unsettle or scare many Indians? It is clear that what the Russian army is doing in Ukraine started because Putin approved it. But what does the average Russian think of this conflict? A recent survey shows that 86.6% of Russians allow and support a potential attack on the territory of the European Union, including Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and others. The survey also shows that 75.5% of Russians approve of the idea of an armed invasion of the next country and believe that it should be Poland. Moreover, according to the survey, almost 75% of respondents in one way or another allow the use of nuclear weapons by the government of their country. It was reported by Interfax that in a poll which was conducted on March the 3rd, the Russian Public Opinion Research Center, VCIOM, has found that 71% of Russians support the military operation in Ukraine. Well, different surveys may reveal different results, but what the Ukrainian government or its officials are trying to tell the world is perhaps pretty consistent and clear. Now, please watch this very, very carefully.
Если вы считаете, что мы остановимся на Украине, подумайте 300 раз. Напомню вам, что Украина – это всего лишь промежуточный этап в обеспечении стратегической безопасности Российской Федерации.
У нас кончится терпение, мы просто запустим что-нибудь тяжелое в сторону Вашингтона и Лондона.
Польша доиграется. Было 3 раздела Польши. 4-й будет последний.
Границы России нигде не заканчиваются.
Придет время, и Польше ничего не останется. И от Прибалтики.
Наши подлодки способны выпустить более 500 ядерных боеголовок, что гарантированно уничтожают США и все страны НАТО в придачу. Это по принципу «зачем нам мир, если в нем не будет России?».
Да и Россия – единственная страна в мире, которая реально способна превратить США в радиоактивный пепел.
Out of all these clips that are compiled, this Russian TV anchor statement is worth noticing, and that is about reducing the United States to radioactive ash. The United States is home to people from all nationalities, including many Indian Americans, many of whom have absolutely nothing to do in this animosity between Russia and the USA. Yes, there are Indian Americans and others who feel very unsettled due to such statements that often come from Russia. These kinds of statements are provocative and should be unacceptable. It must be noted that Russia has maintained that in special circumstances it can use nuclear weapons. So does it mean that Russia is unpredictable and deep down NATO or the West are afraid of Russia? Well, it was reported that the president of Ukraine had said that NATO should either say now that they are accepting us or openly say they are not accepting us because they are afraid of Russia, which is true. But probably there are no easy solutions. If every country or civilization decides to forcefully capture the territory that they once held during the greatest point of their history, we will never be able to establish peace in the world. Russia is falling into China's arms faster, and it can also mean that the Russia-Pakistan-China nexus can get stronger. How does India view that? Of course, Russia may go to any extent to protect its interests. Yes, as I have said before, Russia is no angel, but the West is no saint either. At different points in time, both Moscow and the West have tried to use India to their advantage. It also seems that when India was a newly independent and fragile nation, the then global powers wanted to exploit India for their benefit or interests. And yes, the Soviet was very consciously eyeing India. Can India forget the overwhelming Soviet influence that had penetrated deep into its system? See what these CIA records say. Moscow providing substantial financial support to India's political parties, placing more than 160,000 items in the Indian press? Or how about the Soviet Information Department in New Delhi covertly financing the publishing of books in India, distributing some 25 million magazines, books and pamphlets a year? To describe that situation, the term India for sale was used. How deplorable and unacceptable is that? How can Indians forget that? Yes, this book reveals a lot of uncomfortable things that are not in common knowledge. Maybe those Soviet times are gone, but India shouldn't forget the tough geopolitical lessons it has learned. So who would you support? A country that acts like a mafia? Or countries that act in a group almost like sophisticated and cunning rich criminals? When it comes to media, with so much soft power in media that the West holds, for an ordinary citizen who wants to be neutral and think independently, it can be very difficult because of the one-sided geopolitical assessments that we are being exposed to. But why are we still running away from the truth? Can anyone guarantee that neo-Nazi groups do not exist in Europe and the USA? The world needs to see if a strong nation can actually exist, which influences the world positively without exploiting any nation or people. That is why we need India to rise, because we want to know if it is the Bharatiya wisdom that can bring solutions to our global problems and minimize or end our conflicts. Or do you believe that the countries that are former colonial powers have the intention to bring justice and peace? See you again.